To say it's been a rough start to 2025 might be underselling it a little bit. And this isn't to say there hasn't been any good movies in 2025. There have been some hits, there have been some gems. Thank you, Steven Soderbergh. I enjoyed Mickey 17. I really liked Freaky Tales, and The Ballad of Wallace Island was a charming movie. But I also don't think it's a stretch to say that 2025 has been off to a fairly underwhelming start, at least so far. A lot of streaming slop, a few disappointments here and there, and then whatever this was. And there was a point where I thought, wow, is 2025 actually cooked? Premature thought, maybe, but to be fair, it is April. For some context, March of last year, we got a little movie called Dune Part 2, and that had me riding a high for quite some time. And if memory serves correctly, the year before that, in March, we got John Wick Chapter 4 and Everything Everywhere All at Once, or was that the year before? I'm getting my years mixed up. The point is, this stagnation is not the norm. But as I was on the brink of giving up on movies and becoming a TV guy, which, hey, thank God for The Pit, excellent show, Ryan Coogler presents to us Sinners. His southern horror musical vampire movie, and cinephiles and movie fans everywhere, I can happily say we are saved. I feel like Gordon Ramsay right now.
That is delicious. Finally. Some good fucking food.
I think for this video, I'm going to keep it mostly spoiler-free for a couple reasons. One, I kind of feel bad for my editor, Nick, of 24 Frames of Nick, if he's going to edit this video and I spoil the whole movie for him, so I won't do that. You're welcome, Nick. Also, and maybe more importantly, it is one of those movies that is best to go in completely blind to really get the most out of your experience. But as usual, during this discussion, if I start to venture into spoiler territory, I will ensure to sound off the spoiler siren. I should trademark that. Spoiler siren. A quick IMDb summary, just in case anybody's like a sociopath and watching this video with zero knowledge of Sinners, which if that's you, hey, more power to you. The summary says, trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. We have an ensemble cast of Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. This is the, third time this year where one actor's played two different roles within the same movie. Mickey 17, Alto Nights, and now Sinners. Just kind of strange. Haley Steinfeld, Miles Catan, Jack O'Connell, Wunmi Masaku, Jamie Lawson, Omar Benson Miller, Lee Jun Lee, Delroy Lindo, just to name a few of the ensemble cast. Sinners is Ryan Coogler's fifth feature film, immediately following his two-film stint within the MCU, Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. But more interestingly is that Sinners is Ryan Coogler's first ever original feature film, and I think when you watch it, it's immediately noticeable. And while I am of the mind that Ryan Coogler has yet to make an outright bad movie, the one constant issue I see throughout a lot of his filmography is that his style and creativity tends to get handcuffed to the source material. It's not really egregious in Creed. In fact, maybe it's not even an issue in Creed. A big reason why that movie even works is because it's a fresh take on a story that's been somewhat exhausted. It's injected with so much of Coogler's style and love that it basically resurrects an entire franchise. However, it is more apparent in the Black Panther films, where in those movies it almost feels like Ryan Coogler has to check off certain boxes in order to satisfy the MCU machine and Lord Feige. But this neutering of style and voice is not present in Sinners, and it might be the movie's most striking feature. Sinners is brimming with a sense of personality, and because there is no source material to satisfy, no boxes to check off, Coogler seemingly lets loose. A lot of times for the better, maybe once in a while for the worse. But he flexes his filmmaking muscles in every sense of the word, from the cinematography to the editing down to the writing, because he also wrote this film. And while the direction can feel a bit chaotic at times, it's a controlled chaos, and it serves a bigger thematic purpose. There is a scene in this movie that is so audacious and so bonkers, I felt like I was floating out of my seat. Think of that SpongeBob meme where he has like the headphones in and his body's like floating upwards. That's how I felt. You'll know it when you see it, but it's that exact kind of moment where you know you are watching something truly special. Probably one of my favorite aspects of Sinners is its patience, which is, I think, a very underutilized aspect in a lot of films. A meaningful and intentional patience, which at times can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, the narrative patience allows Coogler to tap into this high level of immersion. And this immersion is not only accessed through the script or through the writing, it's accessed as well through the camera. Coogler is consistently using a lot of one-ers or one-takes that help the audience become intimately familiar with the setting. It gives us a sense of spatial awareness, and subsequently, we become intimately familiar with the characters that occupy the setting. And it's this patience with the characters and the setting that allows the more emotional moments of the movie to actually have a sense of weight to them. A character's triumphs or defeats means more when you actually spend time with them. I know, a wild concept, but a concept that blockbusters tend to forget. Luckily, that is not the case for Sinners. However, I did say double-edged sword because there is a turning point in this movie, I'd say, I don't know, about halfway through, where it transforms into the vampire movie that was advertised. And because so much time is spent developing characters and establishing a setting, third act moves at a blistering pace, and that can feel a bit jarring. But for those who are worried that the marketing or the trailer of the movie was going to spoil a big plot twist or like the crux of the movie, the real meat and potatoes of it all, which, you know, has been an issue as of lately. Looking at You, Companion, and Abigail, movies that might have been better if we knew a lot less. Not a case for Sinners. Yes, Sinners is a vampire movie and a very good one at that, but that's just one of the many hats it wears. It's also a movie about the power of community. It's a movie about the Jim Crow era Mississippi circa 1930s, and also it's a movie dedicated to blues music. The role blues played in Southern Black culture, but also the role that blues music played in American music, both past and present. So from a story perspective, there's a lot of ideas here, and at times one can argue too many ideas here. But in the end, I think Coogler is doing an excellent job balancing all of it. It's a thrilling vampire story. It's a moving story about Black brotherhood and community. And it's successful at depicting music as liberation, blues specifically as a conduit to another world. It is a lot of ideas, and to accommodate for the overflowing of ideas, the story can feel formulaic, and it succumbs to more conventional genre beats, which I don't think is a bad thing. But I can see it not working for some. Speaking of genre conventions, Ryan Coogler has not been shy to admit and discuss the influences for Sinners. From Dusk Till Dawn, The Faculty, Inside Llewyn Davis, and even Green Room. And this is evident everywhere in the movie. The heat and sex from Dusk Till Dawn, the practical gore and carnage of Green Room, the mystery and the tension that anyone could be the killer of The Faculty, the power of music from Inside Llewyn Davis. I always appreciate when filmmakers are vocal about their influences. It's impossible to escape influence. We are constantly standing on the shoulders of the past greats. Coogler is happily taking these influences and still conjuring up something original and exciting. Performance-wise, probably a career best from Michael B. Jordan, who's playing a dual role of Smoke and Stax. Standout performance goes to Miles Catan, who plays Preacher Boy, which is apparently his first film role ever. Incredible stuff. Everyone in the supporting role is doing great things. Delroy Lindo, who probably should have won an Oscar for Defy Bloods, another conversation, different day, is equally funny and moving. Haley Steinfeld, great actress. I think she's a bit limited in this movie, but really shines more in the second half. Wunmi Masaku, every scene, so tender, so compelling. If the MCU doesn't figure out how to include her more in their universe, their loss. Other random things I wanted to bring up really quickly. There is a mid-credit and post-credit scene. I can't remember if there's one or two, but there is one big one, and I'm a little mixed on it. In a world where the post-credit scene is king, I guess I understand why Sinners chose to do it. I don't exactly find it interesting or even remotely necessary. And I'm not saying it soured what I thought was a beautiful ending, but I don't exactly understand the purpose it serves. I mean, thematically, I do, but I feel like we start to enter this territory of over-explaining and spoon-feeding, and that I'm not a fan of. In the end, I always find that I have a more difficult time doing reviews for movies that I genuinely love. Because how does one articulate that really specific feeling a great movie instills within you? Walking out of the theater, I kind of felt like that meme of the wolf tearing its shirt off. It's this weird spiritual high that's almost impossible to describe. It's how I felt walking out of Furiosa. It's how I felt walking out of John Wick Chapter 4. That feeling deep inside that you've experienced something beautiful and exciting and drenched in love and passion. And it somewhat convinced me that 2025 alive might not be cooked. And that's the end of my spoiler-free review on Sinners. I think I did a decent job not giving too much away, I hope. Excited to hear what you all think of the movie. Let me know down in the comments. Next video for me, I believe, is the ranking every video game adaptation movie. I mentioned it last time. The mission to watch them all is ongoing. It has been a very interesting mission. Uwe Boll, you're making this a little bit more difficult than it needs to be, but it is ongoing. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, do all those fun YouTube things. And until next time, have a wonderful day, night, week, and weekend. Take care.